If you save one child, it will put other innocent people in danger. So should you save or not? Within the Lunar Paladin Order, Mr. Ho strongly condemned Princess White for bringing people into the protective barrier unauthorized. In reality, Lancey is more supportive of Princess White's actions. On the verge of a showdown, Curry said, although Princess White has repeatedly violated the Paladin's Order regulations, he should be dismissed. But as Ear said, if it weren't for Princess White saving the child at that time, she would probably have become one of those monsters now. Why not temporarily record his fault, and take a long-term approach to it? The air raid siren suddenly sounded at this time. There is an unidentified monster that has broken into the residential area within the Lunar Paladin Order protective barrier. It is searching for the Demon-Kin frantically like a hunting dog. A burst of purple magic power surged out. Lon and Kur were both swept away by magic power at the same time. You should know that bringing anyone without an identity badge into the protective barrier could potentially lead to the disclosure of the base's spatial coordinates. Now the entire base is in danger. Mr. Ho immediately set off to the scene to provide support. Princess White also called to inquire at this time. The Lunar Paladin Order has issued an emergency signal. What exactly happened? Lancey reported that a huge blonde monster just broke into the residential area. After grabbing some civilians, it disappeared. The base is currently tracking the escape route of the monster. During the conversation, Princess White saw a monster flying high in the sky. He disregarded Ear's dissuasion and directly chased after it. Curry immediately took action upon seeing the situation. "I'll leave the rest to you," said Ear. "I have something else to take care of. I must confirm it no matter what." "I'm sorry, but it seems like you haven't entered any text for me to translate. Please feel free to provide the text you'd like me to translate." The city that was once filled with laughter and joy. Now, it is ravaged by the invasion of the Demon-Kin. Princess Moon and her companions cleaned up the battlefield. Contact the neighboring Paladin's Order for rapid support. Princess Moon looked at the city in front of her, with smoke rising everywhere. She unexpectedly turned around and chose to leave. Compared to the indifference in Princess Moon's eyes at this moment, the young hot-blooded boy. Princess White is preparing to enter the orphanage again in order to save Ku. What happened to Lan Yu, who was raised by the straightforward Manda? He was willing to transform into a monster at any cost. He also wanted to destroy the Paladin's Order. But in any case, Princess White will not let him harm anyone again. On the other side, Kur woke up inside the tunnel. She found nothing but white bones all around her, only blood-red vines covering the walls. Lon, who usually squats in the coffee shop, was also scared by the haunted house scene. Kur leads Lon to explore inside the pitch-black tunnel. Suddenly, a large number of white bones appeared in front of him. A sense of foreboding rose in their hearts. The two of them decided to leave quickly. Inside the corner, Lan Yu was laughing hysterically. The food actually wanted to run away on its own. A wave of purple magic power wafted up, continuously entwining around Lon before rising up, continuously closing in on Lan Yu. Blue holy power cuts off the purple magic power. It's Princess White. He shines as he enters the stage. Catch Lon. Lan Yu also appeared at the right time. This paladin with the strange weapon actually managed to sever my enchantment with a single strike. Quite impressive. It seems that the old teacher has managed to call for reinforcements before dying. It's a pity. The power of the two-rank race far exceeds human imagination. After speaking, Princess White was once again surrounded by purple enchantments. Magic power was so intense that Kur, who was watching from the sidelines, could feel it. Lon also felt difficulty breathing. Princess White, who was bound, had even had his holy power almost completely absorbed. Now he doesn't even have the strength to pick up a weapon. Is dying at the hands of Demon-Kin one's ultimate fate? Lan Yu is willing to sacrifice the entire city's people in order to gain power. He also wants to break through the second-rank race and become a monster neither human nor demon. However, he was unexpectedly defeated in just 2 sentences by a weak man who could not even wield a sword due to the absorption of holy power. He was willing to shed rivers of blood for his great achievements. However, in the end, he was defeated by just 2 drops of blood from his idolized younger sister. The once world-famous Princess White was once a waste of space that everyone ridiculed. Although he is the eldest son of House Flame Spear, he is an adopted son with a damaged innate holy power. Princess White was intelligent since he was young, so he received just as many beatings when he was a child as he did when he grew up. He knows that his existence brings shame to House Flame Spear. In the face of provocations from his classmates, he remains calm and composed, neither humble nor confrontational. He is determined not to leave any opportunities for green tea be * cheese. But Princess White will never give up either. Becoming a paladin may take a little longer than others. But as long as he becomes a paladin, he will be able to protect his sister. So all the effort won't be in vain. Princess Moon watched her brother's firm figure heading towards the training ground. She finally understood. Perhaps allowing her brother to qualify as a paladin would make him happy. That night, Princess Moon found her brother asleep in the training hall. Her brother always practiced secretly until this time. He always silently endures all the injustice. Although her brother became a paladin to protect himself. But obviously Princess Moon also wants to help her brother. At this point, Princess Moon cut her fingertips and sent the blood to Princess White. This should be kept secret from father. So when Princess White runs out of holy power. But only a sentence in Abyss language can unlock Lanyu's curse. The rising blue sacred light warns of all dangers. The sky-radiant paladin Princess White's return once again. Lanyu looked at the childhood idol in front of her with great surprise. She had been following for so many years. It's just a pity that it's not convenient to ask for an autograph now for a little commemoration. Princess White silently counted Lanyu's list of sins. Killing the mentor and slaughtering lives. What made you abandon the dignity of being a paladin in the end? Even if it means becoming like this, it's worth it. Lanyu's gaze towards the paladin in front of her was 3 parts coldness, 3 parts amusement, and 4 parts indifference. Paladin's dignity? Who would be stopped in their tracks because of such a thing? I'd rather be a demon-kin who can effortlessly wield forbidden spells than spend my whole life unable to master them due to human discrimination. For this, Lanyu spent many years researching. He finally discovered that there is magic inside the human body too, but it is too thin. So, at most, only shatter-rank race spells can be used. Now, Lanyu has finally broken through the shackles of the human body. He can feel the magic power rising and surging within him constantly. As long as this continues, Lanyu will be able to overturn the decaying temples and establish a new social order for humanity. Now, Princess White also knows about the situation of the temple. Instead of struggling again, it's better to go with the flow and join the Lanyu plan. Use your own appeal to assist Lanyu. But our Princess White is a man of faith. With a single sword swing, the situation becomes clear. He firmly refuses to cooperate with creatures that are not human in front of him. In order to gain power, he does not hesitate to harm children, or even invite wolves into the house. Lanyu has harmed countless living beings. He has long been twisted by obsession. Even a demon orphan wandering the streets now seems more human than he does. He is truly a devil through and through. Okay. Since Lanyu's verbal output couldn't successfully brainwash Princess White either, then let Princess White experience it. The same ending as that old thing. Just one snap of your fingers. Princess White is being wildly attacked by purple magic power. It is a pity that this magic power is facing the armor of the Sky Radiant Paladin. It can only perform scraping therapy. Princess White just needs a cool look, plus a series of sword moves. He can completely cut it off. But Princess White only discovered it during halftime break. The erosion caused by this magic power is even more severe than scraping, but watching the magic power continue to erode downward. Princess White is becoming more and more determined, even if there is only a glimmer of opportunity. He cannot give up the resistance. But the long sword he waved in his hand only lightly stopped at Lan Yu's head. It was Lan Yu's magic power that created the subtle difference, allowing Lan Yu to easily survive under the Paladin King's sword. Goodbye, Paladin King Sky Radiant. Lan Yu made a statement, and the dark tunnel was suddenly illuminated by the blast. Although it may have been blown to smithereens, a fly is still meat. This Paladin King magic Lan Yu will accept it. But there is a red magic power rising in the smoke. It's really embarrassing. You kid? Abandoning human identity to gain the second-rank race. Princess White can not only easily obtain it, he can also transform into vampiric race lowly white princess in a second. How about now? Is jealousy coming very suddenly? Lan Yu watched as the Paladin King in front of her transformed. Vampiric race activates mockery mode. The arrogant Paladin King Sky Radiant has become the thing he hates the most. If this matter is leaked, it will lose millions of fans overnight. But let's say a fair word without selfishness. Where can I recharge the transformation function? Do you mind revealing it? I also want it, and by the way, I want to help my brother save money. White Princess can only feel noisy, and then launch an attack. But she found her wings bound. But she was caught in the Lan Yu pit of indolence magic curse formation, and it was too late to leave. She once again felt powerless, and knelt down in front of Lan Yu. Alas! Your multiple identities mean nothing to me. I can still defeat you easily. After watching the play for a while, Kuri finally took action. She injected a tiny bit of magic power into the carefully planned curse formation by Lan Yu, causing everything to burn away amidst the repeated cries of "Impossible!" At this point, Lan Yu could clearly see that in addition to the vampiric race in front of her, the other powerful demonkin was also present, making the situation even more chaotic. A magic output was still lurking behind the scenes. Lan Yu cannot afford to play this losing game. He used a smoke bomb to escape. Kuri was still eager for more. It's rare to see a human pushing their rank race limits. Why are they so naive? So Kuri only has one goal next: silencing the higher-ups. She absolutely cannot let Princess White be fired. Go underground. After Lan woke up and thanked White Princess, they left with Kuri. White Princess also received information from the Paladin's order. The situation in the city is currently very chaotic. Tuolin asked everyone not to act on their own. Stay in place and wait for further instructions. Here, he specifically mentioned to Princess White to hurry back to the base and not act recklessly. But the person holding the phone now. But White Princess. Vampiric race proud and cute little princess. No! Humans can do much more than you can imagine. At the western city gate, a paladin is fiercely battling an infernal creature. The Paladin's Order Captain Creeper is fortunate that the Commander-in-Chief Princess Moon is wise, able to foresee the situation early and personally ordered reinforcements to be brought in. He suddenly realized. What about the paladins of this city-state? Not only did they not come out to fight monsters, they also cannot be contacted. As he was distracted, an infernal creature suddenly emerged behind the unlucky fool captain. Luckily, the unlucky fool's defense attribute is high. Captain manages to withstand the next attack. Such a massive infernal creature, along with more of the same kind emerging continuously from underground. He shouldn't be in such a miserable state as a creeper. Who knew a cross-shaped radiance suddenly appeared behind the infernal creature. A golden beam pierced through the infernal creature. Paladin Association's current president is the Immortal. Paladin, sir? Nowadays, the Paladin's Order and Demonkin are engaged in battle. Countless casualties are reported. The mastermind Lan Yu is taking advantage of the situation, continuously absorbing the magic power of the fallen soldiers. Once all these energies are absorbed, Lan Yu will easily crush the temple. But before he causes trouble for the temple, the Paladin King missed behind the pillar. Doesn't she plan to come out and meet them? If you change your mind and decide to invest now, I can still offer some magic power. Stop it! This power doesn't belong to you. Doesn't belong to me? Miss Sky Radiant, you have quite a sense of humor. Demon-kin like White Princess naturally do not understand the cost of protecting humans. Incompetent humans. They do not even know who their true enemies are. Since they choose to entrust their future to others, what's wrong with Lan Yu taking some magic power from them? White Princess has no intention of joining. Then don't blame Lan Yu for drawing his sword. But how can White Princess, who has not been able to eat for a long time, be compared to Lan Yu, who has already fully drained the magic power of the entire city? White Princess couldn't even use her most familiar magic power moves. She's trying to go head-to-head with Lan Yu just relying on close combat. She unleashed a burst of violent attacks, ending up suspended in midair. White Princess is still bound by Lan Yu's magic power. Clearly, only 1 point away from hurting Lan Yu. But she was precisely overwhelmed by this overwhelming force, and fell to the ground with one blow. Lan Yu mocked the White Princess, who was vulnerable to even a single blow. Look at your pathetic appearance. However, the White Princess still stands up like an unbeatable cockroach. She muttered demon language in her mouth. She caused red magic power to continuously surge from all directions. Not far away, the immortal and unlucky Fool Captain also noticed the empty space, with red magic power floating in it. This magic power unexpectedly transforms into a terrifying deity statue in the distance. Lan Yu, who is neither human nor demon, looks puzzled. What on earth is this? Isn't this little girl supposed to be exhausted and struggling for breath? How can she effortlessly unleash a big move? Did I just go easy on her? The White Princess, emitting a continuous blood-red glow, instantly answers the opponent's questions. This power is less than 1% of my true form, the Wasteland God. I am here to send you to hell. I'm here to assist you. How can I help you today? A cloud of smoke dispersed. White Princess flew up into the sky to check the battle situation. Oops! She felt that her magic power couldn't support the final blow. But it looks like she should have defeated him, right? White Princess finally succumbed to exhaustion and fell to the ground. It seems like she is about to run out of energy. Summoning the illusory form for her body might have been too much of a strain. At this moment, a dazzling purple magic power emerged from the smoke. White Princess was further distressed by this purple magic power, causing her to cough up a mouthful of blood. Lan Yu's proud expression appeared in the smoke. I was so close! I was about to completely disappear from this world. But now, Miss Vampiric race should be completely defenseless. At this point, White Princess is completely subdued. Lan Yu was also unceremonious, ready to enjoy consuming the vampiric race's magic power. How much can a powerful demon-kin like this further enhance itself? In the previous episode, it was mentioned that Lan Yu finally bound the vampiric race Lolita White Princess. He took the opportunity to crazily extract magic power from her when she was powerless to resist. Watching as the little girl is squeezed to the point of transforming into Sky Radiant Paladin Princess White, Lan Yu also shows no mercy. But how long can Lan Yu maintain the power obtained through plundering? Princess White keeps babbling on even in the face of death. How could Lan Yu let it go? Originally, he still wanted to give his childhood idol a good beating, since he still has plenty of energy. Then, he will sacrifice his life along with it. Purple magic power wins around the shoulders. Princess White remains unfazed. Can you really control such a huge power? Lan Yu's veins instantly bulged, and a shockwave was unleashed. Since you don't want to die a lingering death, then you disappear for me. The purple magic power continued to surge and spread towards Princess White. However, Princess White's eyes became even more determined. Nowadays, only facing a life-threatening moment can he surpass the rank race and turned defeat into victory by opening his second pair of eyes. And Prentice White's verbal attacks are aimed at this moment. Prentice White transformed from a youngster with yellow hair into a handsome man with white hair. He broke through Lan Yu's shockwave with a single sword strike. "Stop it, Lan Yu, you have lost yourself." But he was already at a dead end, consumed by hatred. Lan Yu, with numbed eyes, cannot listen to these criticisms. He has worked so hard over the years to surpass the limits of the rank race. How could he be easily defeated? As he falls to the ground, Lan Yu transforms into the illusory form of the planetary ghost Hole, with purple magic power spreading and engulfing everything around. This nightmare rank spell devours others, while also depleting the caster's life. But so what? As long as he can bring down the temple. Lan Yu is willing to do whatever it takes. Lan Yu was once a person with a hard life. When he was a subordinate, he witnessed the arrogance of the Paladin's order, who thought they could control others' lives at will. It was just a small troll team attacking the village. However, the superiors used the excuse of lack of manpower to refuse rescue. But ultimately, it was because a small village with only a few dozen people was not worth the Paladins risking their lives for. This made Lan Yu, who had no power, no authority, and no backing, realize not all Paladins deserve to be called Paladins. So they should all die. They should all be completely destroyed. Lan Yu is completely out of control. The whole town will be destroyed in an instant. In that case, we can only choose the last option. Prentice White strode forward, and his bicolor eyes appeared involuntarily in an instant. He held his breath and concentrated, mustering up all his strength in one go. Not only did he dodge the attack, but he also successfully cast the zero rank spell. Something that is not easily obtained. Persistence is key. You have indeed absorbed a lot of magic power, but lack the strong willpower to control it. So your defeat is just a matter of time. After resorting to violence, you immediately start moralizing. I suppose that set of principles also comes from the old man you learned from. Although, however, since the idol faced tough enemies and danger, they still held on to their inner sense of justice. Then you should be able to handle that group of people with ease as well. Have you seen enough? After the big battle, the immortal appears in the smoke. Prentice White was almost killed just now. But this guy showed no intention of coming down to help at all. Is he trying to turn the tables again? The immortal offers no explanation. After throwing down Prentice White's weapon, he left with a simple, "Well done." And then, he disappeared completely. At this point, Prentice White finally breathed a sigh of relief. If there were another duel after the great battle, even with more support, it wouldn't be able to withstand it. In the 71st year of the Fourth Age of Mortals, human city-states suffered an unprecedented large-scale monster attack. Countless buildings were destroyed, and a large number of civilians were killed or injured. The minister of the Radiant Paladin's order also went missing during the attack, with his whereabouts unknown. No one knows the causes and consequences of this disaster. The truth of the matter gradually dissipates into the swirling sand and ruins. So when Prentice White returned to the familiar scene, the Minister of Discipline faced this kid in front of him, who was full of nonsense, attempting to deceive with a lousy story. "I don't believe you one bit. You're a very bad old man." But at a critical moment, Lancey knocked on the door again and brought the squadron leader's guarantee document. "Please don't worry. This person will not betray the Paladin's order. If he behaves improperly, the leader will handle it personally. He has been seriously violating the rules of the order since the previous episode. The squad leader still wants to protect such scum. I really don't know what's wrong with the squad leader." After Prentice White and others were kicked out of the discipline department, Prentice White didn't even have a chance to explain. He was greeted with a push from Lancey before he could even speak. "Always causing trouble, that stinky little brat. I'm getting wrinkles from being so angry about this trivial matter all day." Then Prentice White slunk back to the dorm under Lance's watchful gaze, getting ready to attend class on time the next day. He returned to the dormitory on the way. Prentice White was still feeling sorry for his handsome face being beaten up. He had no idea that Linda was coming with a large amount of information on the other side. If nothing unexpected happened, Linda, who was walking towards him, was about to be surprised. Prentice White bumped into Linda head-on, causing the materials in her hands to scatter all around. Prentice White found out that this was actually the freshman martial arts competition. Linda explained that this is a stage for freshmen to showcase their skills. It is also meant to promote mutual communication among new students and deepen their understanding. The competition results are linked to subsidies. Winners can qualify for relic exploration and receive substantial credit rewards. Moreover, it is limited to new students only, which is very fair. Linda realized it. Is Prentice White going for the prize money as a miser? What is he saying? I also want to make new friends. Amidst the two Sundaras bickering, Kuri, the old mother, suddenly appeared and disrupted the two people who were getting closer. What are you two doing here? Linda not only did not greet her own mother when they met, but also became awkward. It's none of your business, goodbye. She left Prentice White and Kuri, who were unaware of the situation. It seems that this old mother is having a hard time, since maternal love did not shine on her daughter. Then, please wait a moment, Prentice White. I specifically came to return things. Don't you want them anymore? Prentice White looked at the hairpin in Kuri's hand. He couldn't stop his pupils from dilating. When did he expose himself? No, in this situation, he had to play dumb. Leader, what are you talking about? If you don't need me for anything, I'll go back to class. In the face of Prentice White Kuri, who pretends to be confused, she plays along with the mischievousness. Wow! Kuri still doesn't know how her master saved her. This exciting battle video. I wonder if she is interested. But the most important thing is to see how capable my niece is. And is very gratified. Prentice White is playing dumb again at this time. There is a suspicion of treating people as fools. But this Kuri team leader, she claims to be anti? So she is. Ignoring Prentice White's questions, Kuri has begun to console herself. I didn't expect that her sister's child had been away from home alone for so long. It turns out he came to her home. In that case, it is indeed a true love from the niece, and is here to help Lilia supplement the education of love for the niece. Oh! Among the sounds of little skirts, bow ties, and white stockings, Prentice White held a white fur and constantly changed poses for photos. Kuri is holding a video camera, happy like a 200-pound fat man. Kuri changed her style. She is talking about the outcome of the recent duel that Prentice White just finished. The outcome of the person who tried to transcend racial limits. Prentice White no longer fabricates stories. To be frank, he never actually had control over the power he absorbed. That's why Prentice White ultimately won by a narrow margin. Oh, I see. Did the excessive pursuit of strength end up destroying him? Kuri sighed. Why are we always so obsessed with things we can't get? The magic spell on human beings. It's not something ordinary people can easily obtain. There must be someone with deep knowledge of spells secretly helping him. The Paladin's order must not take future battles lightly. White Princess gently touched her cheek and expressed gratitude for her concern. She has already transformed as requested and is now wearing a little skirt. Since it's late now, can she go back? Kuri's eyes lit up with excitement. The new student martial arts competition has begun. The venue is filled with outstanding talents. Kuri sees such a grand scene for the first time. She pulls little Sarah over to join in the fun. Contestants are entering in order. However, Prentice White looks tired, with a dark expression on his face. After all, he played dress-up games all night last night. Which grown man can stay interested today? Remembering, it's Prentice White's turn to take the stage. The opponent is the Demon King Capo with a stubbly face. Capo saw the disdainful expression on Prentice White's face, who had already been summoned twice by the disciplinary department. At least it's an exam. He still has a carefree attitude. He simply underestimates people. Oh wait. Seems like he is not even human himself. Capo draws his sword. He will definitely teach that unreasonable guy a lesson today. But the carefree Princess White just dodged past. He appeared in front of Capo at the speed of light. A punch struck down. You take advantage of distractions to launch a surprise attack. But that's super rude. Capo is still surprised. Princess White's speed is different from ordinary people. He was knocked out by Princess White with one punch. As Capo landed, the next student started to prepare to enter the stage. Princess White, who was confused, only just realized that the competition was a round-robin tournament. It was a good opportunity to test out the newly acquired skills. The new opponent, Rabia, was very intrigued by the ability to knock a human from the second-rank race with just one punch. Since you are so confident in your speed, can you keep up with your sword speed? Rabia strikes with a double sword attack. Princess White dodges and parries with ease, showcasing exceptional skill. Unexpectedly, Rabia leverages her own advantages. He uses his tail as a third weapon. Taking advantage of Princess White's dodge, he leaped directly into the air. I'm sorry, the bonus is mine. The double knives come down, but there was a sound of a collision with a hard object. Princess White can react quickly. He not only defended against the attack, but also responded with strength. He then quickly eliminated Rabia with a counterattack. Such agile speed. And then he proceeded to attack two second-rank race opponents in a row. Little Sarah is hard to imagine. When did she secretly become stronger? But compared to the outsider's surprise, Princess White knows better than to compare to the last battle. His performance, this time, could only be considered barely passing. In the end, Princess White emerged victorious. But the promised substantial prize, money, was meager. It seems difficult to make money, only hoping for the adventure of exploring relics. After winning the New Life martial arts tournament, Princess White, he received food and supplies from Aunt right away, threatening him to eat on time. You have to visit Aunt Curry regularly. Princess White thought of that pink knight in his mind. He chooses to discard the food and transform into White Princess. Asshole. Who wants to accept charity from that weird old lady? But the blunt Princess White still put on the shawl gifted by Curry. The town is so big. Princess White believes in himself. He won't be so poor as to need Aunt's charity. The streets of the town were sparsely populated due to the disaster. White Princess wandered to the cafe in front of the maid's notice. The store manager is recruiting online with narrowed eyes. The store is reopening due to the previous riots, so there is an urgent need for manpower now. The little sister can come and give it a try. Our family not only has a valid business license, and the treatment is not bad either. The prior part also indicates that they will not serve the White Princess. Later, she looked at the unlimited supply of blood essence reserved for the vampiric race imperial family. She immediately yielded. Compared to the blood essence, being a maid wasn't unacceptable either. It's really fragrant. The store manager squinted and brought White Princess back to the store. Introduce it to the other buddies. White Princess saw Lon beside Kur at a glance. Oh no, if Lon brings up the past, Princess White's identity might be revealed. White Princess pulled Lon aside for a discussion. You are not allowed to mention the time we saved you last time. Otherwise, we will use you as food right now. This frightened Lon kept nodding and agreeing. After a series of twists and turns, White Princess finally showed a look of difficulty and successfully got the job. Is the proud and aloof little princess really going to be a maid? White Princess tied up her hair in twin ponytails in the store. She changed into a maid uniform and started working. After work, she couldn't help but wonder if she was working for bread or fighting for her dignity. Suddenly, a jade hand reached out and gently embraced her fragrant shoulder. Curry finally caught you in his arms, White Princess. I didn't expect to meet my lovely niece here. White Princess has a very slim waist compared to Curry Tower. Not explained clearly. Aunt may have to punish naughty children. The White Princess blushed. She flew away shyly. Curry followed Princess White all the way into the base. But she disappeared when he met Linda. It seems that there must be some misunderstanding between Curry and her mother, leading to such estrangement. Linda is too busy to take care of why Princess White is running wild. After all, she is just here to inform Princess White to go on a season of adventure. Not long after, at the foot of the snow-capped Black Mountain, Princess White couldn't help but ask if there are really ancient relics in a place where there are no living things except snow. Let's hurry up. We still need to regroup with the rest of the team. Princess White quickly caught up. It seems like strange noises are coming from around. Come here. But Princess White turned back to see only white snow on the ground. He turned back and asked Linda, but heard nothing. Princess White continued on his way, thinking it was just an illusion. But the airflow behind him was chaotic. It made Princess White even more certain that it was not an illusion. He followed the eerie scent all the way down the mountain. It turned out to be a relic with ancient totems. Princess White discovered ancient ruins while waiting for teammates. A voice chanting a spell is heard at the edge of the cliff. Please provide more context or a different text to translate. Please provide a text to translate. As the explosion sounded, eerie green smoke also filled the air. Inside the smoke were large gray wings. But it grew to have the appearance of a wolf's head. Princess White speculated on the meaning of this bizarre creature. The lonely old man who just recited a spell greeted them proactively. It seems that you two were also drawn here by this relic. Nice to meet you, nice to meet you. The old hermit named True Words is modest and cautious in attitude. He expresses that he is just a humble servant with no threat. I have been ordered to come here to search for an item. I would like to ask the two young people to make way. But which servant appears in the desolate wilderness and can summon the ancient creature Wolf Eagle at any time? Crush the opponent's psychological defenses with actions on this side. On the other hand, humbly and modestly claim to be no threat at all. Afraid Princess White and others are not fools. What if we refuse? True Words the old man knew early on. How could these two be easily understood? One must take care of their old bones. Since they don't plan to back down, don't blame others for being unreasonable. True Words commands the attack. Wolf Eagle rises to strike. Princess White didn't have time to dodge. He was shaken by the shockwave of the explosion and fell off the cliff. Princess White and Linda both fell. Princess White's sword got stuck on the cliff. Are you okay, Linda? Being restrained, Linda transformed into vampiric race's unique bat wings. I will hold off the monster. You find a chance to climb up the cliff. Old man True Words watched as these two young people supported each other to the death. Since you are so generous, please let this old man have a taste of the dog food. I will just see you off then. Wolf Eagle's golden Kamehameha burst forth with dazzling light and explosive sounds. Princess also performed a princess carry with Linda. The wind and snow howled as sunlight streamed down. Princess White woke up inside the pit. He found Linda's arm injured. The blood wouldn't stop flowing. Linda thought that this minor injury was nothing to the vampiric race. The vampiric race has a natural healing ability. She only needs a little magic power. Linda placed her hand on the wound and found that not only had her self-healing ability failed, she can no longer activate any of her magic power. Princess White suspects that there is something in this pit that can suppress magic power. The stronger the magic power, the more severely it is suppressed. It seems they should not stay here for long. They need to hurry out and contact the other team members. Princess White handles the conversation skillfully. He picked up Linda calmly. You smelly cockroach. Put me down quickly. Princess White faced Linda's struggles. Just being a gentleman. A guy with injuries to both hands and feet should not act tough. Moreover, it is unknown what strange effects this protective barrier may have. It's better to wait for Linda to fully recover before releasing her. Princess White is holding everyone's wife like this, exploring the situation inside the pit. The terrain here is open. It looks very strange from the remaining underground ruins. It doesn't seem to be from this era. Princess White couldn't help but ask Linda if she believed in the existence of the first era. Linda's mental state continued to decline in Princess White's arms. She returned to the scene of the fire in a daze. Kuri grabbed young Linda and was about to leave. Linda kept begging her mother to save Win from the fire, but Kuri, for some reason, persisted in leaving, pulling Linda along. No matter how Linda cried, she never looked back. Linda woke up from the dream. A punch was thrown at the person in front. "You killed Wind!" Princess White hugged Linda inexplicably. He received a big slap in the face. Luckily, he dodged quickly enough. He was just scratched on the cheek. Princess White hasn't figured out the situation yet. Linda's pupils dilated dramatically. Strange magic spells spread out from her injured arm. There really is a curse, Dot. The old man True Words gloated. It seems that this protective barrier not only suppresses magic power, but also affects others' minds. I have to say, it really couldn't have come at a better time for this injured vampire. Princess White feels trapped. He wants to awaken Linda, but he only received a strike of magic power. Linda is trapped by the demon in her heart. She keeps questioning the person in front of her. Why did you ruthlessly abandon your partner in the beginning? Why did you watch her die with your own eyes? The situation on site is getting worse. The culprit that caused Linda to lose control, True Words, the old man, expressed his absence. Princess White was betrayed during the expedition to find Linda's traces, falling into the protective barrier. Linda is even more mentally unclear due to external injuries. Linda attacked Princess White fiercely. The leader of the gang, True Words, strolled leisurely in the courtyard. He walked deeper into the ruins. The closer he got, the stronger the lingering aura of the sealed impurity from years past became. True Words strolled to the center, where black flames ignited around him. In an instant, the flames fell like shooting stars. Princess White appeared at the right moment. He witnessed Wolf Eagle being tragically hit. A strange paladin with a strange aura and armor appeared in the corner. The sword on the guy's back is the ominous object that True Words was looking for this time. Every part of that sword emits a disconcerting sensation. The old man proclaimed, "We must destroy him here." The azure mysterious bird darted towards Paladin like lightning. Paladin swung his sword to strike. The earth cracked open along with it. True Words summoned a purple-scaled snake with his old partner. The snake opened its huge blood-filled mouth to launch another attack. Paladin leaped agilely to evade the attack. He circled around to the front of the person and delivered another strike. The old man in purple robes was hit in the front. Together with the giant snake, they vanished into thin air. Princess White witnesses the whole process again. The paladin noticed the third party. It decided to swing the sword again. But Linda launched a sudden attack at a critical moment. The paladin, however, blocked the attack with one hand. Then, he slammed Linda against the wall with his other hand. The paladin faced the beauty, who was helpless on the ground, unable to fight back. He showed no mercy at all. He unleashed a large amount of purple magic power between his hands to block the paladin's attack. However, due to the excessive impact of the head-on collision, Princess White's sword may not last until the end of the battle. Princess White leaped up, deciding to engage in a sword-to-sword duel with the paladin. Speaking plainly, it's a showdown with steel. When the swords clashed, Princess White's weapon blade kept shattering. The paladin, however, halted their attack in footsteps. The ground shimmered with dazzling golden light. The surrounding stone pillars rose up with a loud rumble. The paladin lowered the sword on his back and gestured for Princess White to pick it up. Do not fight against unarmed opponents. In that case, since you've extended such a warm invitation. Similarly, how could Prentice White, who is also a paladin, refuse such a kind offer? Linda vaguely noticed that Prentice White fainted after transforming into a sky-radiant paladin. Prentice White suddenly awakened. The call he heard at the foot of the mountain should be the weird paladin before him. Prentice White quickly launched a double attack, but it was easily blocked by the paladin. The overwhelming sense of victory for the paladin is like a tiger. It watched the cat dancing in front of it. It made Prentice White involuntarily remember the feeling of the last battle. The paladin leaped into the air for a frontal attack. Prentice White remained calm in the face of the oncoming blade. He searched for the weakest spot on his opponent's body. And then he dodged the attack and struck it. Unexpectedly, a strange light burst from Paladin's wound, enveloping Prentice White's entire body. Prentice White fell into the void before he could figure out the reason. He woke up again, suspended in midair in the midst of a sea of flowers. Narration could be heard intermittently in his ears. In the first year of the First Era, the gods spread the teachings of Baran in the mortal world, attracting people to come and worship, in order to gain the power of faith from the believers over time. The appearance of the believers underwent dramatic changes, becoming more and more like the gods they believed in. However, due to differences in beliefs, wars continued between the ethnic groups. The gods could not bear to see the suffering of the living beings. The conflicts gradually subsided as they withdrew from Baran, and the wars also gradually calmed down as they lost their main god. However, before exiting the stage, the gods left behind their own bloodline. Since then, the second era of civilization has begun. Among them, the ancient vampiric race, due to inheriting the bloodline perfectly, once dominated the entire Baran and faced taboos from all major races. Not long after, a fifth-rank race calling themselves the Evil God broke the situation. The tentacles of the octopus not only infiltrated various races, but also united them to collectively fight against the ancient vampiric race. Subsequently, orchestrated by the Evil God, a coalition led by the ancient Lan race bloodily massacred the cities of the ancient vampiric race. The ancient vampiric race thus exited the stage of history. However, the greedy giant octopus was not satisfied with this. After expelling the ancient vampiric race, it extended its demonic grasp to the other races of Baran. For a while, the catastrophe created by the evil god shrouded the entire Baran. As the continent was on the brink of being engulfed in flames and slaughter, a paladin from the ancient Lan race stepped forward. He chose to pick up his long sword and confront the evil god, shouldering the responsibility of saving the people alone. In the end, he defeated the evil god, and the continent of Baran ushered in a new era. Prentice White looked at the void and suddenly awakened. The one inspecting the wound in front of him must be the paladin, the warrior of the gods back then. Didn't the third and fourth rank race really exist? The ancient Lan paladin sighed. The discontinuity of the previous era has led people to be half-believing and half-doubting about the ancient Lan race and other third-rank races. Nowadays, under the inheritance of bloodlines, the descendants of the vampiric race and the sacred bloodline are becoming increasingly weak. Ancient Lan paladin. It asks Prentice White, although it had previously defeated the evil god, it was cursed by him. Its body was trapped in the abyss. Forever unable to leave, anyone approaching this place with an unstable mind will also be affected by the curse. Fortunately, Prentice White is determined. He can still strike his own vital points head-on. So please, could you end me here? Grant me the final honor. Only when this corpse falls will the curse be lifted. He can only awaken his companions. Prentice White no longer hesitates. In that case, the younger generation will be at a disadvantage. The two of them are advancing in opposite directions. The ancient Lan paladin fell to the ground in response. If you don't mind, please take the Godslayer's sword. Chattering delusions. Away! That guy is just temporarily lying low. One day it will come again. It's all up to you then. The beautiful girl woke up from the valley. Her clothes were torn and her body was covered in wounds. However, she couldn't remember what had happened to her. Her companion lay exhausted on the ground and asked softly about the situation. The girl could still faintly taste the lingering taste of blood in her mouth. It turned out that Princess White suspected Linda was in a coma due to excessive blood loss. Therefore, he had to make a sacrifice and performed emergency treatment. Who knew Linda had no intention of accepting Princess White's kindness. Next time, don't act on your own. Your blood is hard to drink. It's like turning hostile and not recognizing people at all. Argue or make noise all you want. Linda is fine for now. Let's hurry and leave. The valley is about to collapse. It's time to retreat. But Princess White has not yet stood up. His body is uncontrollable, and he falls back down. Linda taunts Princess White for showing off. She is very honest and sincere in her body. Pull up, Princess White. Linda took the initiative to let him hold her fragrant shoulders and hug Princess White away. Don't get me wrong, I just don't want to owe you any favors. Princess White suggested bringing shattering delusions back to the base. Linda doesn't understand that. It looks like a dull broken sword that can't even cut through fabric. What special meaning does it have that would make Princess White want to use it again? Princess White did not have a special explanation. He simply said, "It comes from a senior I greatly respect." Princess White then asked if Linda knew about it. He referred to the octopus-like creature claiming to be the fifth-rank race. According to Linda, that strange octopus-like creature is called Lord of Sins. Due to his existence, very few documents from the Second Epoch have been handed down. However, in recent years, a cult known as the Ancestral God Religion has been causing trouble under the banner of Lord of Sins. They reverently call Lord of Sins Baran, the master of all things, and proclaim themselves as his representatives on earth. Their actions are inhumane and ruthless. However, information regarding the Lord of Sins is still under investigation. This incident will also be reported to Lancy promptly. Hope that Princess White can keep quiet about her. Out of control. Day to day. She saw Princess White ready to unleash her sharp-tongued skills. Linda intervened in time. She mentioned that she had just watched an impressive showdown. I'm here to help. How can I assist you today? The Paladin King took office again. The vampiric race princess, on the other hand, speaks out for human rights. I have never seen such shameless person before. She lives at the bottom of society, a small scammer who preys on unsuspecting victims. She is also the daughter of the noble princess of Cat Kingdom. Nowadays she has shrunk to the point of not being recognized by the public paladin's order, but still made a mistake. On that day, little Sarah pushed open the dormitory door. She saw a member of the same clan bowing down. Fishbone, the second son of the self-proclaimed Everpeace Duke within the same clan. He has come this time to earnestly request your highness to return to the country. Little Sarah, who is still wearing her live-streaming outfit, is puzzled. The next day, Princess White took the initiative to talk to Curry, the team leader. Princess White collected himself and remained calm. He seemed completely different from someone who came looking for trouble. He asked about the historical records of the vampiric race. Curry doesn't understand the foundational education content of the vampiric race royal family. The heir to the family doesn't know. I really don't know what Lilias was thinking back then. This one embraced at the beginning. Princess White, however, said, "It's just a power struggle between the monarchists and the decentralists. Lilias just wants to take some power away from the monarchists. It's just a bargaining chip in hand. Lilias will do whatever it takes for power, without considering others' feelings. But it doesn't matter who wins or loses as long as both sides are hurt. The main thing is to thwart the plans to invade humanity." Princess White was immediately bound by Curry's magic power, as soon as the words left her mouth. Princess White is so hypocritical. If she detests the vampiric race so much, why does she keep fighting as a member of the vampiric race? What kind of paladin are you trying to be? But Prentice White has always fought as a member of the vampiric race. He is just trying to maintain the basic physiological needs of a vampire. This way, it can ensure that while in the vampiric race state, there won't be any rampage and prevent disasters. So why not do it that way? Moreover, as long as Prentice White adheres to the paladin's code and walks his own path, even if he becomes a vampire, he will still be a paladin. Curry was unable to refute it when he heard this. But since Mr. Paladin is not ready to become a member of the vampiric race, she won't cling desperately either.